Hey guys, Willie and Murfitt here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In this video it's going to be a bit of an update because I kind of left the previous videos a little bit unanswered for. So, yeah, let's get into it. So IMM has been and gone, and my little mini Rusty has an MOT. I kind of left you in the lurch a little bit for the previous videos because I just ran out of time, and that's the honest truth. The car went in for the MOT, it failed, it then went back in for the retest on the Monday. During that time, in between the MOT test and the retest, it had some bodywork done, so I had a bit of paintwork done, and whilst I was in the garage on the Saturday, I went down and the guys kind of let me use the actual workshop. So I managed to get all the jobs done to get the car through the test, so I am really, really happy for that. So a massive, massive shout out to G&G Gallagher's down on the Mold Denby Road. They helped me out no end. So yeah, the car has an MOT. What do we have to do to get that through then? Well, firstly, the wipers or the washers weren't working and they were block jets. So I took the, I've got the two spitty out jets, and I unscrewed them and then pulled out what looked like a load of weeds and sort of dirt. So that all came out. The jets were absolutely fine then. So that was the first job done. Next on the list was the headlamp aims. I managed to adjust both headlamp aims, one up, one down. The beam pattern was completely off on one of the headlights. I took the bulb out, it was sat fine, so what I did was I just adjusted it down, and as it came down it actually started to create that beam pattern, which was fantastic. So that was another job off the list. Rear brake imbalance, I fitted some new rear shoes. Now I refitted when I did the car originally, I refitted the shoes that are in the car. I fitted new wheel cylinders both sides, but the shoes I actually thought were alright. So I fitted new, I fitted brand new shoes, and then from there I managed to get it on the rollers. The imbalance was still out a little bit, but managed to get it to the point where I could adjust it up, and yeah, it went through fine. So that's another job off the list. That was the shoes, that was the rear brakes and the hand brakes that were sorted. The emissions just needed a bit of a tweak to reduce the fueling because it was massively over fueling, but I kind of just got it running so I can get it down to the test centre. And then last but not least was the front flexi hose. So the front flexi hose itself was twisted. Unfortunately, there's no real way around that other than to release it off the subframe and just twist it back a little bit, because of what was happening was it was secure on the subframe and it was secure onto the caliper, but in the middle just had a slight kink. Not like a kink, it just had a twist in it. So the tester wasn't particularly happy with how that was bent. So I released that from the subframe and managed to straighten it out and then tighten everything back up, re-bleed all the brakes, and that was great. While it was at the garage, I managed to get 4 new tyres fitted as well. The tyres themselves did pass through the first MOT, but they've been on the car for quite some time, and I wasn't particularly happy with, especially driving from North Wales down to Bristol and back. It's sort of it's a good sort of 400-ish miles. So that was that done, and then I managed to get the car tracked as well. So front wheel alignment, and then the rear, I did fit the camber and caster brackets, so they are now done and dusted as well. So in a nutshell, that was the car done. And then the only thing that you guys haven't really seen is the body repair that I had done. So I'll take you over and show you now. So what side are we going? We're going to go driver's side. So I'm not quite sure how well it's going to come out, but if you remember, down here I repaired a panel. So what Alan down at the garage has done, he's painted all up here and he's blended it into the actual panel itself. and he's painted around the back as well because there's a bit of a repair around there, and it's looking really, really good. I mean, so good you can see my reflection in the camera. While it was also there, he managed to blend in the seals, and just did a bit of paintwork down here as well that I'd sort of prepped the car as best as to my ability. He then went over it and did it again. So underneath the rear light got painted, and underneath the rear light this side got painted, and a bit of a touch up down here, and then the seal was done as well. So that's the paintwork all done and dusted, and then just using a little touch up stick I managed to paint some of the other bits and pieces. Other bits you haven't seen, on the rear parcel shelf I managed to retrim the actual parcel shelf itself, using some material left over from the steering wheel retrim. So my sister-in-law's done a great job there. There's a few little bunches, but hopefully over time that's going to stretch and it's going to be a much better fit. And I also did in the back the wheel arch covers, so that's another job done. Pretty happy with how it's all looking inside the car. I've got to sort the dashboard out. I've bought some speakers for the dash vents. I need to get some gauges, and I need to install my stereo. So once that's done, it's pretty much going to be complete inside the car, and then it's just time to go and really enjoy it. I did manage to get some stickers onto the side. I ordered them up. They were supposed to be pretty much the whole side of that window, and yeah, they're quite diddy. So when that arrived, I then ordered a new one for the back window, which is much bigger, but I haven't quite got around to fitting that as yet. So that's going to be a job maybe I'll do today. So since getting back from the IMM, I haven't really done a lot. I've just tried to tidy up inside the garage, which isn't particularly going to plan. I am still wearing my wristband, and I'm also wearing this band here, which is from Juan and from Guatemala. It was really cool to meet Juan and all of the other guys as well. So there's a couple of guys from Ireland. There was Dara Mackenzie, who was a subscriber. There was the other Dara, so there's Dara and Emily. They come over from Ireland as well. I'm hopefully going to try and get out to Ireland to see these guys. There was a couple from Japan, and it's just phenomenal. You know, this little YouTube channel, and I think a lot of the guys have sort of said this as well, that all we're doing is rebuilding cars in our garages and our sheds and stuff, and the support and the fact that people are actually watching it and following the journey, it's just phenomenal. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, thank you so much. It's really, really appreciated. So IMM was an absolute blast. The show itself was, how do I say this? It was really good. I think it was what you made it. Organisation of actually getting into the show was not the best. We got sort of put in a holding field for a number of hours, then told we couldn't come in because there was a no cars movement after dark policy. And then we walked to our tents, and then we saw cars all driving in still, so we walked back to the cars and managed to get the cars in. And the next morning I went out to the shops and then wasn't allowed back in because I didn't have the wristband. So it was a bit of a nightmare. The weather itself was terrible. It was rained and it was really windy. A lot of the guys' tents did get destroyed, so if you're one of them, I don't know why I'm apologising, but I'm sorry about that. You know, it's something that maybe couldn't be helped. But I actually really enjoyed the show. I know the organiser had a lot of stick, and I do want to say thank you for organising it, because you guys actually put your neck on the line and got it done. So it was a really good show. There was lots to see and do. Maybe some things could have been improved, some things could have been maybe not as good, But yeah, you did a great job, so thank you so much for organising that. The aftermath of the IMM, I unfortunately was one of those unlucky to have some paint damage. Thankfully, thanks to a friend of mine, I managed to get some industrial strength cutting paste and a little hand polisher, and I managed to polish out all of those milky marks that were covering the paint. It was a nightmare, and I panicked a lot because Mark Simpson from over at Simpson Classics, he messaged and said, I don't know if you've washed your cars yet, but if you have, or if you haven't, I would go and do it. He showed us his milky paint and stuff, and actually did a great video on it. So if you haven't seen that and you have got some paint damage, head over and check out his channel, because he's done a really good sort of a quick repair to get your car back to how it should be. So a cutting compound, and then a polish, and then a wax, and it's cleaned that up, an absolute treat, and you can't see it at all anymore. So I'm super happy that Mark brought that to my attention, because I probably would have just left it, took the car back out into the sun, and then I don't know what I'd have done. So super impressed with that. But since then, I've just tootled about in the car. I've just had a really good time enjoying this motor. So the work hasn't stopped. The YouTube videos will continue. I've got another project over here that once I can see it, I can actually get started on it. But the jobs for now, which I'm not going to record because it's going to take a long time, will be cleaning up the garage. So yeah, the work on my clubbing hasn't finished. The work on the other clubbing hasn't started. But I just wanted to say thank you for everyone's support, give you a quick update and fill you in of where I am up to, and hopefully long may this continue. On the subject of YouTube, I'm wanting to get some logos made up, so I'm wondering if anyone out there watches these videos can make me a logo. Ideally I'd like to get some sort of shirts made up that I can have a logo on there that I can wear. I can wear it at shows, and then maybe in the future could look to start selling some merchandise. I'm not overly bothered by that, but it's just something that someone mentioned at IMM about some stickers, and yeah, I haven't got any stickers, so I'd quite like a logo made up. I can send you over loads of pictures. I've got pictures on my Instagram, so head over there, and if you can, drop me a message, and we go from there. So hopefully someone can help me out. If not, I'm sure I can mock up something that's going to look pretty terrible. So yeah, I just like to get you guys involved with the channel a bit more. But I guess I'm going to leave it there because I am rambling on a little bit. But just thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and we are nearly at 800 subscribers, which is just phenomenal. So yeah, on to the next project, and long may this continue. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.